Acne is so complex. There are so many products, treatments, and misinformation out there. And especially if you're looking at all of this information, all of these advertisements, and the breakouts on your face, it feels overwhelming. But the truth is that there are four main components, four main building blocks to acne. Every single breakout has these four things. That also means if we start treating these things, even if we can get rid of just one of them, we can mitigate and control our acne. In today's video for Skin Science, we're going to discuss the four main building blocks of acne so that you can understand and control your skin. Our acne and the severity of our breakouts can be impacted by many different things, from diet to genetics to the products we're using, etc. But there are these four main pillars, these building blocks, that create the foundation of all inflammatory breakouts. And if we can get rid of just one, let alone all four, then we have a chance at clearing and controlling our skin. So what are these four things? The first one is a clog. The second one is oil. The third is bacteria, and the fourth is inflammation. So let's start with this oil. Oil is actually a natural component of our skin. If you remember back to Skin Science episode 2, oil is created here by the hair follicle, and it's what we call sebum. Its main purpose is to lubricate the hair follicle and to actually transport nutrients throughout the skin. Now that's all well and great, except for when it gets out of control. Unfortunately, bacteria likes to feed on this oil, and especially if we have a plug here, that oil gets trapped. And as you know by the virtues of pressure, anything that gets trapped can expand. Now the thing about oil is that people with acne-prone skin usually have an overproduction of it. This can be genetic, it can be due to hormones such as testosterone or even cortisol and stress, or you might have dietary or product intolerances that are causing your skin to overproduce oil. The gist of it is oil is natural and it is healthy in your skin. And long-term studies have shown that people with oilier skin actually age better. But if you have acne, there is the likelihood that you have an overproduction of it, and that it's getting trapped inside the skin, and that bacteria is feeding on it. So speaking of that bacteria, it's actually our pillar number 2. Let's talk about it. The bacteria that is associated with and causes acne is called Propionibacterium acnes. And guess what? It's actually normal in our skin. There are many different types, and every single person has it. The thing is that some people get acne from it and others don't. Now why is that? Well, when this acne bacteria is in and on our skin in normal numbers, it doesn't cause a problem. But if it has too much oil to feed on, or if it gets caught in the skin due to a plug, it starts to multiply and build up. This can cause issues. You see, there's many different types of bacteria and organisms that live on our skin. That's why acne is not considered an infectious disease, because it's a bacteria that we all have. The thing is that not everybody's skin reacts to it in the same way. It lives within the structures of our skin, and it actually eats sebum. Again, that oil that your skin is producing. And the more sebum it has to feed on, the more it's going to populate. The other thing about this bacteria is it is a gram-positive anaerobe. Now what the heck does that all mean? Well, gram-positive is a classification of bacteria. We basically color these bacteria, we give them little makeovers, and we look at them under a microscope. And that's what helps us figure out if they're gram-positive or gram-negative. Now, anaerobic means without oxygen. It means that acne likes to hang out in your skin where no oxygen is available. And now, as we know from the skin structure, oxygen can get in, so there's a good balance. But when this becomes a clog, no oxygen is able to penetrate, meaning this bacteria can take over. So again, the oil and the bacteria are normal in your skin. The problem is when they get stuck. When they get stuck, everything gets trapped inside, and this little follicle starts to swell up like a balloon, meaning that your skin gets raised and you've got a nice ripe breakout. So what causes this plug to happen on top of the skin? There's actually many different reasons, some that are genetic and some that are lifestyle based. For instance, I have covered my acne for years, but in the very beginning, I didn't understand that the makeup could be clogging my pores if I didn't remove it every single night. If you have something like a heavy product or foundation that clogs the top of the skin, you can actually create a physical barrier. Something else that might happen is the touching of your skin. If you use your hands or even a cell phone to rub up against your face, it can kind of push the cells of the epidermis around. It can kind of cause a layer to seal over the top. Sometimes it's also just your skin. Skin doesn't always exfoliate as properly as it should naturally. Those top layers don't always come off. Maybe your skin is too oily or has too much of a hold. Maybe your skin's metabolism has slowed down and your skin is not sloughing off properly, or maybe it's the products you're using. But the end result is that if a clog happens here, all of the swelling happens in here, and a whitehead eventually forms. Now, think about blackheads. You ever notice that they're black and not swollen? Blackheads are looped in with acne, and they're also a type of comedone, but they're an open comedone, meaning they don't actually have that clog on the top. What makes them black is the oxidation, the oxygen within the air, touching them on the surface and changing their color. Just the way you might cut an avocado or an apple, and after a couple minutes it goes brown. Same thing happens to those open comedones, aka blackheads. But those whiteheads tend to be the most painful ones. All the inflammation is stuck here in the skin. So what's going on? Well, inflammation is the fourth and last building block when it comes to acne. These P. acnes bacteria, when they are stuck inside of the skin and consuming the oil, they actually create byproducts or waste. Just the way we eat, live, sleep, and breathe and create waste, so do these little bacteria. By the process of their living, they create things like enzymes, and they even create cytokines. And unfortunately, when they're having a party inside of your skin, multiplying and creating these different compounds, it sends your body into alert. Your body says, whoa, something's going over here. There's a rowdy party at house number 12. We need to do something about this. And so your body sends these inflammatory particles to come calm down the area. But like you know, if you've ever gotten a cut or if you've fallen and scraped your knees, whenever there is damage, inflammation, heat, and swelling happens. And that's actually what's happening inside of your skin. Now, inflammation is actually a good thing. We always hear about it being negative, but it's not like an object. Inflammation is a process, and it actually has multiple steps. Not all of them are bad. Inflammation is a vital process to your body that we're going to be discussing more here in Skin Science. So while these are the four main components of acne, over the next 4 weeks, we're actually going to dig into the details, understanding in depth P. acnes bacteria, the oil, and this inflammation process. But at least now you have the 4 main building blocks. If you can start to understand these and target these with your lifestyle factors or skincare choices, then you can start taking control of your skin. I believe that we all deserve to know how our skin works and functions, so that we can make the right lifestyle and product choices to take care of our skin. Every single Saturday at 11 a.m. we meet here for Skin Science. So go ahead and use those motor neurons to tickle that like button, hit the subscribe and notification bell if you haven't already, and set a reminder so that you can be here to get empowered and inspired every single week. Always remember to be beautiful and stay hydrated, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.